Good morning, Greg here, burning at both ends. Burning on the front end of Tuesday at 6:13 a.m. Pacific, the 17th of July, 2018. And we are getting ready for a great day. We're driving out to see a customer, and then I really got to work on this presentation. Last night, I spent a lot of time inputting some interview data into Innovation Within, and so just to bring us back to what I'm working on is this iCore program. It is this tech transfer training offered by DOE, Department of Energy, for those that don't know what DOE is. And we are learning about the Lean Startup model developed by Steve Blank. They call it iCore or Innovation Core. So we're being trained on customer discovery interviews. We're being trained on the business model canvas, how to create hypotheses, validate, invalidate, how to build the ecosystem, all these wonderful tools on creating a business model and what it takes to really, I guess, what it takes to reduce as much risk as possible that what we would execute in the business would work in the market. I guess that's a very simple way to sum it up. And I really love this program. It's really intense. It's 8 weeks. The first and last week are really training. Well, the first week is a training week. The last week, I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be, but it's going to be kind of a graduation wrap up. And so really the bulk of the work is the 6 weeks in the middle on the ground, back where you came from, executing these customer discovery interviews. The goal is 75 interviews, and right now we are at about 70. And we have, I think, 6 on the books for this week. So one's today, actually 2 are today, and then we got 1 tomorrow. I think 2 on Friday. I'm not sure exactly where they all are, but they are scheduled. And I'm doing everything I can to just keep poking and prodding at folks and follow-ups and see if we can make more connections and talk with more people. Because once kind of Friday rolls around, it's almost like the end of the course as far as the interviews go. So we really want to bang them out. I mean, yes, we could do them next week while we're in Denver. We could do them the week after the program, but the training ends, and I don't know if we're going to spin out a company. It's a good question. I seriously doubt it, even though it is exciting. So the result of what we've found so far is that there is traction for this idea. We're not 100% sure if the technology can actually do what it needs to do to become this product to sell, which is the big thing. We need a pile of cash to figure that out from a technical standpoint. But what we understand is if we can hit certain performance milestones, then there is market traction. This is the critical takeaway. There is no doubt in our minds about that. And that is the whole point of the program. And before the program, we didn't know that. And now we have a clear understanding as to where we're going after, the growth of that market. We're on the front end of a serious growth. And so it is exciting. But the critical thing, this is what I've learned from my entrepreneurial background and my experience, is it's the team. The team needs to just want it more than anything. And it does not seem that this team, and this is no judgment. I mean, we're in this course. This is no judgment. This is just an observation. It does not seem that critical members of the team have the drive, and I don't blame them for a second, just to be honest with you, because one of the cool things about this iCore course is it really gives you a flavor, or gives me a flavor, of what it's like to be in a startup. This world of infinite work, this world of chaos, infinitely many things to do, a million things to do, and so what do you do right now? And that's uncomfortable. That is very uncomfortable. And we're talking about folks that are used to a very regimented work structure, and being in a startup is the complete opposite of that. And it's not for everybody. And I get that. And I think this is one of the main things. I'm a huge fan of Gary Vaynerchuk. By the way, Gary, bought your shoes yesterday. Thanks for the link, and you definitely have brought me value. And this is the least I can do. I mean, my life has changed because of me listening to you, so the least I could do is buy some shoes. So, psyched to wear them, though. So I'm sure that they're going to look great. And I'm a big believer in this clouds and dirt thing that you get going on. And my thing on the burn at both ends is hot throw and cold throw. The hot throw is the active things I'm working out, the in the trenches work, the heavy lifting. The cold throw is the manifestation, the high, the things that I've put in place that I'm now patiently waiting for to happen. And that comes from the candle industry. It comes from, these are terms used. The hot throw is when you light a candle. What's the scent coming out of the candle actively when it's lit? Cold throw is what's the scent from a candle when it's not lit. And I kind of like that. like the way that relates. But anyway, back to where we were. So, one of the big things that Gary Vee, and there's the BART train. Not sure if you can hear that from here. The old BART train making its crazy noise. Figured that they would have fixed that by now. But I have this theory that it's making people in the Bay Area deaf over a certain frequency range. But back to Gary Vee. So he has this thing that being an entrepreneur is this cool thing now, and everyone wants to do it. Everyone wants to be a CEO, and it's just not in all of our blood. And it's definitely not in my blood. That's that side of it. I'm the execution person. I'm the organizer. I'm the execution person. I am not the big idea person. I've come to realize that. That's been my own self-awareness. But this is why I'm so excited. I'm jumping around quite a bit here. This is why I'm so excited about this nonprofit widget that I'll be really focusing on heavily beginning in August, because I know that Peter, who is the CEO, he's going to train me, and I know that with the training I can execute, and I'm excited for that. I am organized enough to keep an eye on my sales funnel and just keep talking to people. I'm going to implement the infinite game and just make it happen. And it's all going to be because of organization and execution, right? My little theory there. With organization becomes clarity. With clarity comes the ability to prioritize. With the ability to prioritize, now I can execute. Now I can get into action. And it's only with action that I see results. I can sit around all day and think about stuff, but if I'm not actually doing, nothing's going to come in. There's no return on that. There's no return on thoughts. The only return on thoughts are actions, right? When you think about it. So anyway, back to Gary Vee and this whole self-awareness thing, and back to what I was saying about our team. It does not look like we're going to spin out a company, which is not surprising. I mean, I don't know, of all these teams that go through I-Corps, I don't know how many actually spin out a company. It's probably less than 5%, maybe less than 2%, something like that. So it's not surprising. It's just what I'm seeing is that when we broach that topic, how no one wants just to say no, right? It's interesting. People want to accommodate, and people want to not hurt feelings, but I guess I have this other theory that I can do something with a no, I can do something with a yes. It's maybes that make it difficult, right? Maybes are hard to act on, right? And some folks don't really like saying no or yes, right? It's difficult sometimes because that's a black and white thing. It's easy to say maybe, right? And one of the things that I'm working on that drives me crazy, that I'm letting go of and deploying empathy toward is, for example, we run our business on Google Calendar. And so a lot of things, in my opinion, is, let's make a calendar invite, because if it gets on my calendar, I'll definitely do it. And to see people tentatively accept a meeting, even one that we've agreed to having, it's just, so it frustrates me, and I'm really trying to understand what in me causes that frustration. And so what I choose to do, even though I have those thoughts, I choose to deploy empathy and say, wow, this person must really be busy, or this person must really be pulled in a lot of directions, or, to have to say tentatively. It's like, it's interesting. So that's something I'm working on. And so let's swing all the way back to the beginning of this post. I-Corps, super excited about week 7, last real week of real work, I would say. And I'm doing everything I can to squeeze as much out of this as possible, because now is an interesting point. Now, part of my mind says, what, you've already put in 6+ weeks. You can just chill out for a little bit. Stop bugging everyone about interviews. Stop pushing so hard. But at the same time, it's like maybe now is the time to ramp it up, just up a few notches. I mean, I'm so close. It's almost like when you're working out. It's like I'm doing 2 sets, and the third would really benefit me. But it's also a third it's easy not to do because I've already done 2. I'm tired, right? So it's I'm in the thick of it, and pushing a little more is going to have a huge benefit, right? So every hour I put in now has so much more leverage to it than hours I put in week 1, right? But I had to put the hours in week 1 to get to a spot now, so they're all relative and they all build on each other. But it's a matter of, what's the leverage in the work I'm doing right now? It's much greater than the work I did before, because I'm acting on much more information now. I'm better at speaking with people now. I'm better on LinkedIn. I'm better with my emails. I've found that I really like this quote from Mark Twain. I didn't have time to write a short letter, so I wrote a long one instead. I'm finding that these short emails, these using LinkedIn to connect with people and just using those 200 to 300 characters to introduce myself and see why and explain why I'd like to talk to you. It doesn't leave much room for someone to wiggle out of it or to overthink it. Whereas if I write some long email, now they have all this information, they have all this time to think about reasons why it doesn't make sense for them to talk to us. And not that I want to waste people's time, and I think what we really have is really going to be really awesome if it ever gets developed. I really think that we're bringing a lot of value. I think that, and that's one of the things that's given me confidence, is that the things I'm speaking about are really, the things I'm pushing right now, I really believe in. I really believe that we're bringing value. And the same with this nonprofit widget. This is also, because I've been, as you can probably imagine, I've really been thinking about, do I really want to commit to this nonprofit widget? This is going to be a lot of my time, a lot of work. I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to be putting myself out there. I'm going to be doing something entirely different. But at the same time, it's so rooted in what I've been doing this entire time. I mean, it's going to be straight ahead sales, but I'm also learning through this I-Core, everything is sales, right? Any kind of startup, right? These pitch competitions, these slide decks that we create, it's all about sales. It's all about, revealing a story and showing and getting people to buy into a story. That is sales. And but I really believe in what Peter has created here. It's fantastic, and I keep going back to, fast forward a year where I've done a year of work in this. If after a year of my work, of this work that I'm doing, this handful of nonprofits are able to generate more money in donations, and now they're able to do more, that would be just phenomenal. That would be huge impact. That would be so well worth any of the effort I put in. And I'm talking to a good friend of mine, Ashanti Branch of Ever Forward Club, and this is something that he is talking about a lot, is just, the challenge of a nonprofit and finding money, and how money is just, it's the bloodline of the company. It's how they get things done. It gives them the ability to travel and speak and influence and impact. And if either he can, if he's spending his time trying to find money, then he's not spending time talking to people and impacting people. It's very simple. And so he's an example. If I can help him and his company bring in more donation dollars just because of choosing to flip a switch on a website, and it's very easy to integrate this. I can't imagine a more straightforward, simpler thing than that, because I also think, the way I see it is, so you have the widget thing, which is actually someone's already clicked donate, and now they're going to donate, and it's super easy to use this widget. People don't back out of it as easily. But then there's the whole other piece about, okay, how does that company market? And the way I see it is, that's something that's really on them in a way. Let me help them handle this transactional thing, but it's on them. I mean, right? It's their brand, it's their message. They know their people, their customers, their the people that donate, their donors. They know how to impact their folks. That's their expertise. Their expertise is not necessarily in the UI and the UX and why people hit donate but then don't follow through, and the AI and how to recommend donation points and how to get people to donate monthly. I mean, all those. I mean, that's like psychology right there, and that's the thing that Peter has figured out. So I want to leverage that. I want to leverage the fact that he's so excited to train me, that I'm going to learn so much, and this infinite game is really going to help me, because I've done sales before, but I never knew about infinite game, and now that I know about infinite game, it's like a whole different it's a whole different world for me, and so I'm psyched about it. So yeah, and the success journal is the engine. Just now focusing back onto the title of the post, and all these posts have been the same title. And I know it could be considered laziness on my part, but I really want to streamline this posting process just during this I-Core. So I'm going to switch up my process once I get back from visiting my folks in South Carolina. That kind of last week of July, first week of August, I'll be in South Carolina. And I really want to put some thought into how I'm going to do that. I'm not really sure exactly what I want to do. If I want to go back to what I was doing at the start, where I had the outline and a specific title. I mean, it's definitely going to be, each post is going to be titled and a lot more specific, but we'll see. We will see, and that's what's cool about this channel is it's mine. It's mine to do what I think will bring value to me, to the community, to my family, to my daughters watching this years from now or months from now or whenever they watch these, to my folks that watch these, my brother. Just get a piece of Greg and see what he's up to. And so follow me if you like this channel. Subscribe. I would love to be of service. That's my big thing. So please ask questions. Tell me about your journey. If I can help, I would love to help however I could. And check out some links down below. I got some motivational links. There's an Ents down there. Really digging Ents. Had a little Ents flurry last night. It was really fun. Had some new folks on Ents, and just had a lot of fun talking to some new people. I really enjoyed it. And let's see what else we got down there. Oh yeah, the beat in the background, G Money, is my alter ego. I've been drumming for a few decades, so I write these drum beats. Check them out on SoundCloud if you like that kind of thing. Another one of my passions. And right now I'm working on album number 2. So that is slowly coming together. I'm thinking about introducing some lyrics to some of my songs here, some of these new songs, and that's gonna be another item that I really get into in the latter half of the year here after iCore. Is my goal is to complete the album by the end of the year, and then release it. So that's where we're at. So have a great day. Go out, crush it, light it up, inspire folks, do great things, and I will see you this evening.